In the game of power, to be ignored is to be powerless. The world is crowded with voices, ambitions, and noise. If you are not seen, you cannot be remembered. If you are not remembered, you cannot influence. The sixth law of power is this: court attention at all costs. Visibility is the foundation of influence. The person who draws the eye controls the mind, and the person who controls the mind controls the outcome. You can have the greatest skill, the deepest wisdom, the most brilliant strategy, but if no one notices you, it is as if you do not exist. Power thrives on perception, and perception requires attention. This does not mean you must be desperate for approval or applause. It means you must understand that human beings are drawn to what is striking, unusual, and bold. In a sea of sameness, the one who stands out becomes the center of gravity. History remembers those who knew how to capture attention: Napoleon with his dramatic gestures, Cleopatra with her theatrical entrances, Winston Churchill with his unforgettable speeches. They understood that the battle is often won before it begins, in the mind of the audience. When you command attention, you shape how people think about you before you ever act. The mistake most people make is blending in, believing that modesty will protect them. In reality, modesty makes you invisible. The invisible are ignored, bypassed, forgotten. You must break through the fog. This requires boldness. Sometimes it means doing what no one else dares to do. Sometimes it means creating an image so distinct that people recognize it instantly. In the court of power, image is not vanity, it is a weapon. Your clothing, your speech, your presence, your timing, all are tools to make you unforgettable. The powerful understand that attention is a currency, and like any currency, it must be acquired and spent wisely. The wrong kind of attention, scandal, ridicule, exposure of weakness, can destroy you. But obscurity is worse than infamy, for infamy can be managed, reshaped, even turned into power. Obscurity cannot. This is why those who master this law often create controlled controversy. They understand that silence from the world is death, so they provoke just enough to keep the spotlight without losing control of it. The media, gossip, public curiosity, they can all be manipulated if you know how to feed them the right story at the right time. Do not mistake this for a call to constant noise. Attention is not about speaking the loudest, it is about being the most compelling. A single striking gesture can command more attention than hours of speech. Think of the artist Salvador Dali, who cultivated a bizarre, eccentric image that kept him in the public eye long after his art alone might have faded. He made himself the story. You must also learn the art of contrast. People notice what is different from the environment around it. If everyone is playing safe, you take a risk. If everyone is loud, you become the quiet, mysterious figure in the corner. Either way, you stand apart, and the eye is drawn to you. Once you have attention, you must keep it. This means evolving your image, refreshing your presence, creating new reasons for people to talk about you. The attention you gained yesterday fades quickly in today's world. Power demands that you feed the audience something new before they move on to someone else. Those who understand this law are never static. They reinvent themselves, they stage moments that surprise, they stay just ahead of the public's expectations. And here is a truth you must accept: attention attracts both admirers and enemies. This is inevitable. You cannot be noticed without provoking envy. But this is not a weakness, it is a sign you are playing at the right level. The envy of others is proof that you are in the field of power. You do not seek to avoid it, you seek to manage it. You make it work for you by controlling the narrative, by ensuring that even your critics keep your name alive. Remember, people talk most about what they cannot ignore. When you are the subject of conversation, whether in admiration or anger, you remain relevant. Relevance is power. In practical terms, begin by assessing your environment. Where is the attention flowing? Who commands it, and why? What is missing in that landscape that you could embody? It could be an image of elegance in a world of casualness. It could be a voice of reason in a storm of outrage. It could be the fearless challenger in a crowd of cautious conformists. The key is to occupy a position that others are not, and to do it so visibly that you become the reference point. You must also master the art of storytelling. People are drawn to narratives more than to facts. If you can wrap your presence in a compelling story, of triumph, of struggle, of mystery, you give them a reason to keep watching. That story must be consistent in its essence, even if its surface changes over time. And never forget, retreating from the public eye for too long can kill momentum. Disappear strategically if you must, but always return with impact, as if you were never gone. Smiling face with hearts emoji. The comeback must be as striking as the debut. Those who vanish without spectacle are rarely remembered. To court attention at all costs does not mean to chase fame for its own sake. It means to understand that attention is the oxygen of power. Without it, your influence suffocates. With it, you can shape reality. The world rewards those who cannot be ignored. So craft your image. Stage your moments. Step into the light with purpose. And if the light is not there, create it. Because in the end, the game of power is not just about what you do, it is about who is watching when you do it. Court attention at all costs, and the world will never be able to look away.